Hello food fans, we're going to have a cheap feast today for lunch, a low cost lunch. Probably comes in under $5 total. We get lots and lots of good food. We're going to have a frozen TV type dinner banquet, and this is chicken fried beef steak with some gravy. And we'll also have a hungry man meal with that added to it, making it a very big lunch indeed. I will also be using a salad which has a tomato, not an entire tomato, but part of a tomato, and a carrot, and some cabbage. Let me get this here. And also we'll have our regular salad dressing, which is mayonnaise, and it's relish, and it's ketchup, and it's good. So let's get started. Well, this looks good, and it smells good, as I always say. And get it all the food here close to me. What we have some chicken as country fried with a flour coating of some sort, and some mashed potatoes, and some corn. That's in the big Hungry Man meal. And also I have from that meal a brownie, which we will have for dessert. And the brownie is always very, very good in these Hungry Man meals. And in the banquet meal I have beef, which is coated with a flour type coating, and some potatoes and corn, as I have here, so I'll get plenty of potatoes and corn. Alright, it's hot. Parents, keep the kids away from the stoves. Don't want any accidents. I also have my salad here. Salad per serving, the way I make it, comes out to about 25 cents per serving. I've got cabbage, carrots, tomatoes, mayonnaise, relish, and ketchup, and it is good. And of course we'll talk a little bit about show business. And we'll have a beverage, secret beverage. Some of you might think that root beer is the secret beverage. You would be right, but not this root beer. I have a Blue Sky soda root beer from the Kopinski family. We'll have that in a little bit. I'm lucky to be me. We could add biscuits. Could add some more dessert, but this is more than enough for a big lunch. Try some of the chicken. This is from the Hungry Man meal, and it is hot. Very, very good, very tender chicken. No complaints whatsoever. More salad. I'll talk about getting into show business. One of the things that I was surprised to find out when I was young and just getting started in Hollywood, people who have been successful in show business are very nice as a rule, 90% of them, and they will help you all they can. They want you to succeed. When I first got to Hollywood, the only thing I had done that could be called creative show business work, I'd written a song, just the melody on piano. Could not play piano yet, I was 17. But I could play a note at a time and get the melody. And I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard. There was an office building about probably 2 or 3 stories tall. And I went in and looked at the menu, the roster on the ground floor. It told all the different offices that were there. And one of the offices was Claude Latham, Lapham, Song Plugger. A song plugger actually was something I understood who they were and what they did. They were the people who, songwriters would take their songs to song pluggers, and song pluggers would try to make the song popular. So since I had written a song, I decided I'd go see the song plugger. So I went upstairs in this office building to Claude Latham's office, song plugger, and I walked in the door, and there are 2 rooms. There's the room that you walk into when you first go into the office, that's like the reception room with some pictures on the walls and cluttered desk of sorts, and then the room beyond that was the main room, the big room where he had a piano. And the pictures of him on the wall, Claude Latham had a lot of pictures of himself with famous people that I recognized. So I realized this guy is serious, he's done some things. And the pictures on the wall showed Claude Latham as a man about 50 years of age, probably 250 pounds, probably 6 foot 2 inches tall. And Claude was in the room with the piano, and he said, "Come on in." And he stood up, and he looked very frail. He was probably over 6 feet tall, but maybe about 150 pounds. He'd lost a lot of weight from when those pictures were taken. And I figured him to be about 75 years of age, but I found out later he was just in his late 60s. And he did have a terminal illness at the time. And he had a piano, upright piano. It was painted, hand-painted white with pictures on it, flowers and so on. Beautiful piano. And he sat down at a card table, the only other furniture in the room, card table and chair. He had a sheet of paper in front of him. After I told him I'd written a song, he wanted me to pick out the song. He'd tell me if it was any good or not. Time for some Blue Sky cane sugar root beer. First time I've tried this. It's quite good. More mashed potatoes. So I went to the piano and I pounded on the keys and played the melody. And he sat across the room at the card table, writing notes down on his piece of paper. And I thought, what is he doing? How can he possibly know what I'm playing? I'm sitting way over here, he's over there, he's looking at the piece of paper, he's not watching my fingers, he doesn't know what notes I'm playing. I finished playing the song and he said, it was a very beautiful song. We could do it as a Viennese waltz. And he got up, went over to the piano, sat down, and he started playing my song. I heard my song being played by a great piano player, great pianist. He said we could do it as a Viennese waltz. We could do it as a polka. We could do it as some standard time type song. And he ended by saying, or we could do it as this brand new rock and roll. And the frail old gentleman at the piano began to play rock and roll. It was great. And he was playing my song. He asked me to write some words to the song. The following week I came back, saw him, and he told me of his upcoming trip to New York City, which he did take a trip to New York City. He plugged my song, he tried to get it to be successful. He only lived for a few more months after I've met him. He sent me a postcard from New York telling me some of the publishers he played the song for. And I was very pleased with his professionalism. He had a disc recorder in his office, 78 RPM turntable with a microphone set up. He had me sing the song while he played it. I do not have a copy of that now. That's been lost at some point in the past when I was moving from one city to another. But Claude Latham tried to promote my song, and that was very, very nice of him. You can probably find some Claude Latham music at YouTube, Lapham. The chicken is good, 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 the chicken is good. Another fellow I met when I was about 18 in Los Angeles, he had a TV show. He had a show called Make Believe Ballroom. It's where Betty White first started. His name was Al Jarvis. He was a disc jockey, KFWB radio at that time. He's considered to be the world's first disc jockey. He played records on the air, on radio, when the music publishers didn't want their music played on radio. They thought if people could hear their songs on radio, they wouldn't go out and buy the record. Al Jarvis challenged the publishers in court, and eventually Al Jarvis won. He was the MC of his weekly Make-Believe Ballroom TV show. He announced one day on radio he was looking for talent for his TV show. He told where the auditions would be. I went there. I did not have a car, by the way, in those days. I had to take a bus. I auditioned for him. I did not know that you're lucky if you get one gig, one show business job out of 30. That's good. Al Jarvis liked, I think he liked my personality more than my joke, but he put me on a show. I got to do some stand-up comedy on a major TV show in Los Angeles when I was about 18 years old. I was a person with very little talent, but I was a person who had a lot of drive. I did things. I didn't say, "Oh, I'll be too afraid." I was as nervous as anyone could be, but that never stopped me. I went ahead and did my act on his show. I did it at the audition first. Then I did it on the show, and Al Jarvis was very nice to me. It would be probably 20 years after I had done his show that I realized what an amazing show business life he had had. Salad time. There was never a never a quest for money that had me getting on shows and doing things and writing comedy for people. When I moved to Las Vegas, 1961, that's after having been in California 4 years until 1960. I moved to New York City for 1 year between 60 and 61. In 1961, I moved to Las Vegas and started working at a company where one of the employees had a nighttime radio show on KENO radio. The chicken is good. The person who had the radio show was named Bill Hess. I started writing comedy for him. I wrote the comedy for free. And when Bill Hess became sick with laryngitis, February 27th, actually I guess it was February 26th, he realized he was sick, because midnight, the beginning of February 27th, 1962, I took his place on radio. He needed someone to talk, for some of this beef. He liked my comedy, or my nerve, and just getting up and start talking, and if I made a mistake I'd say something else and go on, and nothing would stop me. And so I did his show for 3 nights, learned how to run a radio board, and that made me able to do radio work. I also had to get a license the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, required radio announcers to have a license, a third-class radio telephone operator's permit, and Bill Hess explained what that was and how to get it, and I got it, and I went on to get a second class. Never did get my first class radio operator's permit. Tests were too hard, but I had all I needed to enter into radio. And I can thank Bill Hess for all the good things that happened for me career-wise with radio, and all that radio led to. I don't know why they put the potatoes separate from the gravy in these meals, but there's probably a good reason. It's a very filling meal. And a low cost. This banquet meal costs about $1.25. The chicken meal, the Hungry Man, costs about $2.79. The gravy is good enough that if you did decide to fix biscuits with the meal, they would taste very good with some of this gravy on them. So many different kinds of root beer. I still have 3 or 4, I think, types of root beer to go yet, thanks to the Kopinski family. This is good. In the show business, I think you'll find that people will help you as you're getting started, and you'll help people later when you've made it and have been successful in show business. You will help others to start their careers. The first job you might get in the movie world, if you go to Hollywood, they always need production assistants, PAs. That and being a movie extra, those are the 2 great ways to get into movie and TV work. But you gotta be sharp. You gotta be able to speak up. Dessert time. I have a brownie here. It is good. Chocolate brownies in the Hungry Man meals, they are delicious. I think they have the chocolate brownies in some of the banquet meals also, and they are good. One more sip. This picture of me up here was taken when I was 17, right after I arrived in Hollywood. It was taken on Hollywood Boulevard at Amos Carr's studio on Hollywood Boulevard. Amoscarr. You'll probably find some of his pictures that he took of famous actors. Not sure what happened to him. Last bite of dessert. Thank you for watching.